what's in the John Warner Defense Authorization Act. It talks about putting down governors. What, you see the states saying no now to government takeover? Number 5, we will not obey orders to invade and subjugate any state that asserts its sovereignty and declares national government to be in violation of the compact of which the state entered the Union. Number 6, we will not obey any order to blockade American cities, thus turning them into giant concentration camps. 7, we will not obey any order to force, cops just got convicted under federal orders last month from, 4 or 5 years ago in New Orleans, shooting people trying to walk out on the highways. Remember that? Shooting them under order, just mowing people down. Unarmed people. We will not obey any order to force American citizens into any form of detention camps under any pretext. Number 8, we will not obey orders to assist or support the use of any foreign troops on U.S. soil against the American people to keep the peace or to maintain control during an emergency or under any other pretext. As Henry Kissinger said, during staged crises, they could bring in UN troops. We will consider any such use of foreign troops against the American people as an invasion and an act of war. Number 9, we will not obey any orders to confiscate the property of the American people, including food and other essential supplies, under any emergency pretext whatsoever. Number 10, we will not obey any orders which infringe upon the right of the people to free speech, to peaceably assemble, and to petition their government for redress of grievances. How is this treason? Anybody that violates this is involved in treason, Doctor.
And I keep wanting the Oath Keepers to add one more to that, and that's to promise not to follow any order to participate in a war of aggression.
But again, I mean, you swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution from enemies foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
I mean, reading the oath, it goes further than Oath Keepers. And I've read old Army handbooks from 50 years ago that were more clear than this. But now this is treason to actually be a patriot.
Yeah, they're trying to turn things all the way around. That's why I've called my organization the Patriots. We need to take that back, make it a good word again, and make people understand that we who are protecting the people of the United States are the patriots, and those who are trying to subdue us are the traitors.
Dr. Bob Bowman, stay there. We'll talk about more of what you're doing at your website, your book, your materials, your newsletter on the other side. And we do have some people calling in now, Roger, Tom, and a lot of others. Folks, they are quietly training everywhere to take us on, and they're going to stage terror attacks to do it. We'll be right back. Veterans. We have scores of secret and declassified and leaked government documents. We have new ones today. They are training against veterans. They are saying you're terrorists that are going to attack. This is outrageous. This is what the Soviets did when they took over. It's what Hitler did. He went and rounded up former military people that had been critical. I mean, this is happening in America. The banks have stolen trillions. They're setting up a police state. Your kids are herded through naked body scanners. School-issued laptops are watching kids 56,000 times at one school district and saying they're allowed to. I mean, this is hellish. And Dr. Bob Bowman is our guest. I want to hold him 5 minutes the next hour so we can go through some calls here and talk more about what he's doing. But we've got Roger, who's ex-military, who's concerned about drills. Tom in Canada, military contractor. Brian, Chad. Let's go to Tom in Canada, who is a military contractor. What's your take on this, and do you have any information?
Yes, Alex. I worked on a couple military bases 10 years ago, pre-9/11. They were a live-round training base, combined arms tactical training. And basically what it was, 100-acre site, 60 buildings, replica of a U.S. city. Every building, like municipal hall, city hall, townhouse, residential housing, hotel. And it was basically the structures, and it was for ranger training for the Army to go through. At the time, you know, I wasn't really still watching TV and so on, not aware, and I was kind of taken back because I expected to see a Middle Eastern, you know, like a Middle Eastern town or a Russian town or something like that, but it was a U.S. city. And at the time, the contacts I dealt with told me it's because of the Oklahoma city that it was to deal with domestic.
Yeah, we've got footage from 3 drills they did in the late 90s in Louisiana where they admitted it was for the American people, and they had foreign troops drilling to do it. So they told you 10 years ago this was for domestic groups.
Exactly, and they cited the Oklahoma as one, and basically.
Now, was this drilling for the U.S. and was this with U.S. troops?
Yeah, it was a Rangers based in the Northwest. There was one in Alaska. I think a couple in the southern states as well. There's about 6 that were out at the time.
Well, last year I had an Army colonel on that was in the newspaper. We're doing door-to-door gun confiscation drills. And then I had the colonel on, and he admitted it. That's in Police State, The Rise of FEMA, the new film. I appreciate your call. Dr. Bob Bowman, this has been going on a long time, but I see it really accelerating and coming to a head.
Yeah, right on. Let's get another one of your callers.
All right, let's talk to Roger in Missouri, former military, about drills. Go ahead.
Yes, this has been going on for a long, long time. Memorial Day of 1973, I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, California, and the Black Panthers was going to march on Camp Pendleton. The commanding general actually came out, secured liberty for everybody on the base, brought recon out, put 30 caliber machine guns out, and they drew a line. And they told the Black Panthers, you go across that line, we're going to kill you. Then, after that, they transformed the Vietnam training village into what would look like just a regular United States street. And told us that, of course, that was during the Nixon administration when they was Watergate was going on, that we would probably be attacked by armed citizens. Also, just 4 years ago, I belong to the Marine Corps League, and the local police and sheriff's department came and asked us if we'd get CERT trained to help out in administrative duties and rescue during an emergency of any kind. And we went through that, and everybody was pretty well on board with it. Then, about 3 or 4 months after that, they actually shut down our local airport and had a terrorist drill. And we was supposed to do a fake triage and different things.
Tell you what, stay there. That's what they do. They get you there for one reason, then bait and switch. Stay with us. All right, fourth and final hour, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Bob Bowman with us in the final segment. Air Force Colonel, former head of the Star Wars program. He's been warning about the military being trained to engage in martial law operations. We have more secret Army documents confirmed by major newspapers to be authentic, leaked by patriots. U.S. Army trains to confront Tea Party terrorists. Military personnel blow the whistle on exercise which involved troops taking protesters to concentration camps. This is the updated, beefed article. Paul Watson, Kurt Nimmo. Kurt Nimmo, of course, broke this at Infowars.com. And it continues. Kurt Nimmo, Paul Joseph Watson. The key article is at prisonplanet.com. This just went up minutes ago. It's got all the documents you need. We've got other news coming up in the last half hour on population reduction. So we'll be discussing that. We're about to go back to the caller. And even after Dr. Bob Bowman leaves us, I will continue with military veterans and others who've been through these drills to take on the American people. We're going back to Roger here in a moment. But, Dr. Bowman, before we run out of time, people can get your newsletter. They can learn more at your website. You also have a book out that's very informative. Tell us about that.
Populist Vision for America. And it's not published yet, but I have it on my computer as a Word document. And if people would like an advance copy, just send us any contribution. You can do that through our website, through PayPal, or mail us a check. And make sure you include your email address so that we can email you a copy of the book. And so you won't need to wait until we find a publisher.
And give folks the title again.
A Populist Vision for America.
Absolutely.
And it has in there are not only the problems that we face, but the proposals we have for solving those problems and what we can do to take our country back.
And give folks the website one more time.
ThePatriots.us.
Patriots with an S. We don't stand together, we'll all hang separate. Now, for those that just joined us, Roger was talking about decades ago doing drills to take on the American people. And then he was part of the Marine Corps League, and I've seen this in the news, in major papers the last 2 months. We've got to add that, where they are training former veterans to take on current veterans, newer veterans, and that's in all the government documents, that the main threat is now the Patriots. And we have these new government drill documents from just 3 days ago where they're drilling for veterans attacking bases and taking them to FEMA camps. Watson has this key article up at prisonplanet.com.